Imagine this. You're in bed, suspended in that eerie, heavy space between waking and sleeping, when you suddenly get the distinct feeling you're not alone. Your eyes flicker open, and there it is. At the edge of your vision, across the room, you see a shape. A figure. It's darker than the darkness itself. A human silhouette with no face, no clothing, no features at all. You blink, your heart thundering against your ribs, and it's gone. Just a trick of the light, you tell yourself. A fragment of a dream. But something deep inside, cold and instinctual, whispers that it wasn't your imagination. Maybe you've just joined the countless people across the globe who've seen a shadow person. This experience is more common than you'd think. For centuries, from one side of the world to the other, people have reported these dark, humanoid figures that seem to dwell at the edge of perception. Always there, just out of reach, yet never fully gone. These beings are typically described with unsettling consistency. Solid, three-dimensional silhouettes that appear to move with intention, darker than the surrounding darkness, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. They don't behave like the ghosts from Hollywood. There's no misty glow, no translucent outline, no dramatic wailing. Shadow people are silent, still, and terrifying in their simplicity. They're seen standing in doorways, lingering at the foot of beds, or darting just out of sight down hallways. And while each experience may vary, the emotional response is almost universal. Pure, primal fear. Some feel an overwhelming sense of malevolence. Others describe it as an ancient, indifferent awareness that watches, judges, or simply exists without care for human life. Historically, these encounters were fleeting. A glance, a trick of peripheral vision. But recently, online communities have noted a disturbing trend. More people are seeing these figures head-on for longer periods, and some even report horrifying new details, like glowing red eyes. What's even more chilling is that this isn't a new fear. Cultures around the world have recorded stories of shadow-like beings for centuries. In Islamic lore, the jinn, beings of smokeless fire, are believed to inhabit a parallel dimension. Japanese legends speak of the Kei-jonna, or shadow woman, a ghostly figure that manifests as a shadow with no source. The Choctaw tell of the Shillambish, a dark soul that leaves a person's body to haunt others. It seems clear. Humanity's fear of living shadows runs deep, and it spans generations. But what are these beings, really? Are they ghosts? Demons? Something else entirely? Theories abound, and none are comforting. Some believe shadow people are interdimensional entities, phasing into our world when the veil between realities thins. Perhaps our universe is one of many, layered like pages in a book, and sometimes something from another dimension leaks through, just enough to be seen, but not fully understood. This might explain their sudden appearances, their ability to vanish, and their tendency to ignore the physical barriers of our world. Others think they are spirits, not fully formed ghosts, but the lingering remnants of people who lack the energy to manifest completely. A darker theory posits they're not spirits of the dead at all, but demonic entities that feed on human fear, manifesting in terrifying forms designed to elicit the most intense emotional energy. Still others suggest they are the astral projections of living dreamers, their sleeping souls wandering beyond their bodies and appearing as shadowy figures to others. Or perhaps these beings are tied to alien phenomena, cloaked observers, shape-shifting extraterrestrials hiding in plain sight, using shadowy disguises to evade detection. The result is a picture of a world crawling with hidden intelligences and otherworldly visitors. Among these entities, one stands out as especially feared and legendary: the Hat Man. Reported for decades, the Hat Man is a tall, dark figure wearing a long coat and a distinctive wide brim or fedora-style hat. Unlike other shadow people, his outline is unmistakable. Though faceless, some witnesses claim to see glowing red eyes beneath the brim. He appears with startling clarity, often looming at the foot of a bed, in a doorway, or in the corner of a room, exuding an overwhelming presence of dread and authority. He doesn't just pass by, he watches, intently, silently. Websites like the Hatman Project have collected hundreds of eerily similar encounters from across the globe. People waking up paralyzed to find the Hatman standing in their room, others haunted by him for years, recurring like a nightmare made real. The consistency of these sightings is both chilling and baffling, suggesting either a mass delusion or a deeply rooted, shared reality. Some say he's not just observing, but actively feeding on fear, drawing energy from the intense terror he inspires. In this view, he's a psychological predator whose presence alone is a method of control and consumption. He doesn't need to touch you. The panic he instills is his harvest. But while paranormal theories are compelling, they aren't the only explanations. In fact, some scientists suggest the truth may be even more terrifying, not because it lies in the supernatural, but because it lives in our own brains. The most widely accepted scientific explanation for shadow person sightings is sleep paralysis. During REM sleep, your body becomes paralyzed, so you don't act out your dreams. Sometimes, your brain wakes up before your body does, leaving you trapped, conscious, but immobile. In this state, still halfway in the dream world, your brain can project dream images into the waking world. These hallucinations, called hypnagogic or hypnopompic, often include the sense of a threatening presence in the room. And the most common form that presence takes, a faceless, shadowy figure, frequently looms near the bed or stands in a doorway. The folklore of the old hag, or incubus, demons that sit on the chest of sleepers and steal their breath, likely stems from this experience. This terrifying but natural glitch in consciousness explains many shadow person stories, but it doesn't account for everything. People also report seeing shadow beings during waking hours. For those, science points to pareidolia, the brain's tendency to see familiar shapes, especially faces, in random patterns. In dim light, a coat on a chair or a dark doorway can easily be interpreted as a person, especially when we're tired, anxious, or in a heightened emotional state. Our brains are wired for survival, and that means detecting threats, even when they aren't real. Stress, sleep deprivation, and certain substances can all amplify this effect. Stimulants like methamphetamine are notorious for causing users to see shadow people, a side effect of extreme sleep loss and heightened paranoia. Even high doses of over-the-counter medications like Benadryl have been reported to cause vivid hallucinations, including visits from the Hatman, a phenomenon that's become a cautionary meme online. Though this doesn't mean everyone who sees a shadow person is mentally ill. Mental health conditions like schizophrenia can also involve visual hallucinations. It simply shows that our perception of reality can be altered more easily than we like to admit. In the end, we're left at a crossroads between two deeply unsettling possibilities. That the monster in the corner isn't real in the traditional sense. One suggests that we are not alone, and that something ancient and inhuman might be lurking just beyond the veil of perception, stepping into our world when the moment is right. The other possibility is more intimate and more horrifying. Is it a creation of our own minds, a glitch in our perception, a hallucination spawned from stress, fear, and sleep disorders? It means the shadows don't have to come from outside to be terrifying. They can be born from within. And so we're left to ask, which is scarier? That dark, intelligent entities may be walking among us, invisible but ever present? Or that our own minds are capable of crafting horrors so convincing, so paralyzing, that we can't tell them from reality? Either way, one thing is certain. From now on, you'll never look at a shadow the same way again.